I'm going to first install the EGR valve, then the TGVs. The area we have to work is back here. First, we're going to move this coolant pipe out of our way. Move this up. So that's out of the way. I'm gonna disconnect this boost pipe. Now, you guys will most likely have a top mount intercooler. I don't have one. I have a front mount intercooler setup, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off this boost pipe first. It'll make it easier for us to access this side of the motor when we reinstall the TGV on that side. Next, we'll take a look at our wiring. Make sure it is clean. This is the wiring harness that was taped off by the previous owner when they deleted the EGR valve system. Everything looks good. All those pins look good. Previous owner put a catch can in place. I'm going to remove these hoses. See if I could get a little more space. Now, with that out of the way, let's hope we can get enough space to put this EGR valve in place. First, let's remove the sensor here, because I don't like it being in that position. What we're gonna do is remove these two clamps and remove this 90-degree pipe that fuses the two together. Remove this hose. Trusty pick. Alright, it's coming. Got it up. You're gonna lose some coolant. It's okay, it's to be expected. Alright, so that's one hose done. Let's get the other hose. Let's get this other 90-degree connector out of this hose. Alright, that's out. It was at this point that I realized I needed to make a little more wiggle room, and so since we were doing the TGVs as well, I decided to loosen the intake manifold first before putting the EGR valve in place. To remove the intake manifold, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts there and 4 on the opposite side. So we'll get started on this side first. It'll be 4 12mm bolts. Moves. All right, we'll move on to the other side. A little difficult to get to. Don't drop them. And the last one in the back here. Okay, that's all 4 out. Gently pry up on this side of the intake manifold. Remove this bolt. Okay. And there's one more here. Down here. we'll remove this 10mm bolt. Looks like it's holding in probably fuel lines, but it looks like it's just a bracket mounted to the manifold itself. So there we go, we can move it out of the way. Okay, that one's off. That's about as good as it'll get, guys. Let's see. Did all that just to see it, just to move this a little bit more freely. Okay, guys, back to the EGR install. It's kicking my ass a little bit, but you know, you gotta learn somehow. Anyway, so with all of this stuff loosened and kind of out of the way, now we could position the EGR valve in its home. Which is in here. Okay. Get that coolant hose on. Position it in place. Right here. Okay, good. Let's do the upper. Alright, that's on. Same thing. Put your hose clamp on. Beautiful. Okay. Plug in your electrical connector. Make sure that snaps into place. Now we're gonna go and mount it down here. You're really gonna have to feel to mount these bolts. These two 10mm bolts. Take a short extension and feed it in by hand. Okay, let's do the other side too. This one is even more challenging because you really can't see. Again, just go by feel. Tighten them up. I don't know the torque spec on these. I don't think it matters so much. Just get them tight. Okay. I reconnected my catch can hose down there for now so I don't forget. And now we're going to install, we're going to remove this plate here, and we're going to install the connecting pipe that goes from here to here. This will come off with two 12mm bolts. Remove the plate. Okay, that's out. Inspect your gasket. Make sure this gasket is still good. We're going to reuse it. This one looks fine. You're gonna install this. Looks like some kind of exhaust pipe that connects the EGR valve to the intake manifold, and it goes like so. You're gonna install this gasket on this end here. Okay, there's one. I'm just going to get everything hand tight, and then at the end we'll torque everything down to the proper spec. We'll reinstall these bolts up here on this plate. Again, I'm just going to leave everything loose so this way we can torque it up at the end. And I still have to do the TGVs, so I kind of want things to be able to move a little bit. I'm gonna reinstall this other pipe for the catch can while I still remember it. I'm just gonna reroute it a little bit better. Under here. But while we're here, I think it will be easier. We'll go ahead and do the TGVs first before connecting this pipe. So to do the TGVs, I already have the intake manifold loose. Here we're going to take the old TGV delete out. You can see it says Perrin, that's the brand. Here's the old connector for the TGV. This will cut that free. I'm going to inspect the wiring here. Make sure the connector is still good. Okay, so with that, that connector is free. Lift up on the manifold just enough to be able to slide these out. Push them out the back. Okay, that's one out. Now I'll go ahead and install this side TGV. When you install the TGV, you want it so that the connector is facing the firewall. They only go on one side. You'll follow the shape of where the bolts mount to, and we're going to slip this in from the back. Same way we removed the TGV delete. Go through here. There we go. We'll go ahead and connect our electrical connector here. Okay, we'll do the other side. Same thing, you have your electrical connector back here. Everything looks good, no corrosion on any of the pins. Same thing, lift up on this side and you'll have to shimmy out the TGV delete. Let me see if I can get you a better angle here. So this side actually was easier. Okay, so we got that out. Make sure your gaskets are all there and intact and nothing is pinched. Get our other TGV tumble generator valve. Up nice. Okay. Plug it in. Okay, and we're gonna bolt it down now while we're here. So we'll get all these bolts back in. Make sure they're aligned properly. If you meet any resistance when driving these in, stop and reposition your intake manifold because you don't want to strip any of these bolts. Don't go super tight yet because we still got to do the other side, but we want everything at least hand tight. Okay, we'll do the other side. Now that we got all 8 bolts are in, we're gonna resecure this intake manifold. I'll give you the torque spec once I get these nice, at least tighter. So I got the torque spec. Basically, I looked at the Perrin TGV delete guide, and they said to torque down these bolts to 18 to 20 foot-pounds. the order in which you tighten these does not matter according to the guide. So we're gonna go 20 foot-pounds. There you go, 20 foot-pounds. We'll do the other side. And that's it for your TGV install. So there they are. They're back in place. Everything's torqued down nice. They're plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and reconnect all of these other hoses that I disconnected, but not until we finish the rest of the job. We still have to finish installing the final piece of the EGR valve down here. Let's continue with reinstalling the rest of the EGR system. So we already have the EGR valve in place here. We have this exhaust pipe or something. I'm not sure what it is, but it's plugged into the intake manifold and then into the EGR valve. We have our coolant lines connected and the sensor connected, and we reinstalled the lines for our catch can that was already on the car. I left everything loose because we're still not done. Now, this might be hard to see, but down there, is that little red plate that we have to remove. Let's see if I can position the camera there for you to see. Hopefully you guys can see that. So there's two, I believe, 10mm nuts down there. Loosen those. There's one nut. Alright, so it's kind of a very hard angle. You don't have to put the car up in the air to get down there, but it might be a little bit easier. I'm trying to show you guys exactly what it is you're gonna have to undo, but hopefully it comes across on camera. But there's two 10mm nuts down at the bottom of the engine there. Let me see if I can position you again. Here is the block off plate. We need to take it off and take this little gasket with it. Okay, and that's off. I have a new gasket, so we're gonna put a new one on there. Let's get the upper section in place. So this is the, I guess, some kind of cooling pipe. It's connected to the EGR valve to the engine block, and this will connect from up here all the way down there. Now I have a new gasket I'm gonna put down there before I forget. Put the new gasket down there, and then we have another gasket. This one goes up here. This one will go here. So let's get our cooling, let's get that pipe in place. Feed it down. Move these coolant hoses out of your way for now. They're gonna have to get reconnected to this pipe. Feed this pipe down and line it up with the studs down here. We'll put our gasket in this section here. And line up our two bolts. There's one. So we got that one in. That's a pain in the butt because you can't really see, and the gasket keeps moving around and can block you from actually threading this bolt into its correct position. But just fiddle around with it and eventually you'll get it. You're gonna have to trust me on this. I can't film this section, but so I'm doing the nuts on the lower section of the pipe right now. It's all by feel because you can't see nothing. Now we're gonna reconnect the coolant lines. These two coolant hoses here. We have to reconnect now to these two sections of that pipe. First we have to remove this 90-degree coupler. Now there is going to be coolant in here, so again you're going to lose some coolant more than likely here, but you know what, I might put coolant clamps, hose clamps on it just to prevent the loss of coolant. If you don't have any coolant clamps big enough, you could use a pair of vice grips. There's one and there's the other. Okay, we got two vice grips there. Let's remove these hoses from this 90-degree coupler here. Alright, there's one. Let's get this coupler out. There we go. So this lower hose is going to go connect down on the bottom. Let me get rid of this vice grip. Okay. Well, that was a pain in the ass. There's not a lot of room here, but we got the coolant hose on the pipe down here. Let's get this upper one. This one's gonna go right up here. Take this vice grip off. Secure that hose clamp into place. I can't easily get this hose clamp back on. I hate these ones, so what we're gonna do, we'll take it off. We're just gonna use one of these instead. So we'll reinstall this back onto the pipe. First put this on. Reinstall this coolant pipe. Alright, that ain't going anywhere. That's good enough. Alright, so now that our coolant pipes are connected, we can finish tightening everything up. I'm going to start with the bottom nuts. So the torque spec for the bottom nuts is 5 foot-pounds. Okay, there's one. That's it. Okay. This one here is going to be 14 foot-pounds. Same with this one down here. The final two here will also be 14 foot-pounds. Also, don't forget to tighten down the 2 bolts that I have highlighted in the red circle to 14 foot-pounds as well. Let's just say it's not so fun if you leave those loose. Ask me what happens in the comments. Okay, that's done. We'll reconnect this connector for the intake manifold. So our EGR valve is now in place, connected to the cooling pipe all the way down at the bottom of the motor. Our TGVs are successfully installed. I just have some things to button up, like these set of pipes that we removed earlier. You can reroute them back to where they belong. We'll put it back in its guide there. This goes back here. And then I'll reconnect the boost pipe. I'll start the car. I'll check for leaks. If everything's good, that'll be it. I hope you guys learned from this. If you have any advice to add to make this job a little bit easier, please leave it in the comment section. Stay tuned as the build progresses. Next up, this car is going to the body shop to have the frame repaired. In this spot here, we're going to put in a new frame rail here. You can see the bend. This has separated, and a new rad support is going to go in, and then we'll button everything up, and it's going to be great. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button if you learned anything, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.